7 o'clock. Can we all recite our mission together? Our mission is to inspire and empower our students to reach their full potential through opportunities and experiences in a safe, diverse, and collaborative environment. Ms. Winless, will you lead the Pledge of Allegiance? Absolutely.
United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Trustee Anderson. Trustee Beltowski.
Present.
Trustee Dyroff. Trustee Sterlini.
Present.
Trustee Stovanovic. Trustee Wall. Trustee Winless, present.
Trustee Stevanovic and Trustee Wall let me know that they would not be here this evening. Moving on to the adoption of the agenda. Be it so resolved that the Board of Education accepts the August 20th, 2025 agenda as presented. A board member may request an item be moved from the consent agenda to superintendent's recommendations. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Moved by Trustee Sterlini,
Support.
supported by Trustee Dyroff. Questions, concerns, comments? I'm sorry. Roll call, please.
Trustee Anderson.
Trustee Anderson.
Yes.
Trustee Dyroff.
Yes.
Trustee Sterlini.
Yes.
Trustee Winless, yes. Trustee Beltowski.
Yes, motion carries. Thank you. Moving on to public comment on agenda items. Do we have any public comment on agenda items only? Seeing none at this time, we will move on to the superintendent's reports. Mr. Kleinhans?
Thank you. So I had 4 items, 2 my items, and then we were going to do 2 board reports, but because Mr. Wall's out, we'll just do 1 board report and then put that on the next board agenda.
Thank
That
you.
sounds okay? Okay, very good. So just a quick construction update. We did have our annual construction meeting at Bedford. We normally do 2 a day. They did the HVAC for Polk and Pardee. They put the construction meeting with a walkthrough, so they did those yesterday, and then today was the big one with Bedford. So an update on the HVAC projects. Most of the work is completed. They are waiting for DTE to come and cut over the power. The company that handles the electronics and is responsible for the startups and the balancing, they have brought in a generator so that it's this week it's at Pardee, next week it'll be at Polk, so that they can power up all the units, get them started, and balance them. That's no cost to us, that's on them, and that's what they're doing to ensure that when the kids come to school, that we'll have air conditioning in those classrooms. So they want to make sure that we're good to go there. So the startups and balancing, so you'll see it's a huge generator. If you go back by the football field back behind Pardee, it's sitting there now, and then it'll come over to Polk. So if you see that, that's what that is. At the Bedford site, today we were doing policy, and they were talking about incapacitation of the superintendent. It's one of our policies that we're reviewing. I said, well, talk to me tomorrow after. No, I'm just kidding. So substantial completion for the Bedford project was slated for Monday, okay? If you've driven over there, you'll see we're nowhere near that. Part of the issue that they've been battling, and I think I told you guys that, is the large water retention system pipes. They're huge. Those were delayed in construction and getting to us by 3 weeks. So they're really scrambling to make up time. So they have told me today in the meeting that the back of Bedford will be ready to go for the start of school. They have to work over the weekend, but they're getting closer. Right now, it still looks like there's no way in the world. And Dave, the lead construction guy, said, Mark, that's what it'll look like until we're ready to put down the pavement in the big parking lot. They've already paved the loop off from Annapolis. And so that paving is slated to take place next Tuesday and Wednesday. So we're hoping that we have good weather, get the paving down, then right afterwards the stripers come in, and that piece will be done. For the start of school, all of the like the landscaping, the grass seed, all of that kind of stuff probably won't be ready to go. And I said, that's fine. I just got to make sure that parents can drop their kids off, that it's safe for the students and the staff to get in and out of the building. The second part of that is the playground. And I've been meeting with the playground people. I don't think the boss wants to take another one of my phone calls, but a little concerned with the progress of the playground. Today I got assurances that that they'll be putting in the half of the playground that has the sin lawn. And so as soon as they get that done, then the sin lawn people come in, they put down the gravel, they put down the styrofoam, and then they put the turf and then put the sand over top. And then they'll move to the second half, which will be playscapes, but that will be the wood chip part of it. So they assured me that that would be ready to go too. So I'm crossing my fingers. Okay, it's been a challenge, but today when I walked in the meeting, it was really quiet. And I don't know why. I don't know what they thought I was going to do, but they could tell I wasn't happy. So, but I'm really hoping that things go well from here on out and that we're good to go for the start of school. The party playground project, so we've moved all the rocks out of the secret garden area. They are in the grass area where they're going to go. There's a couple more that we want to move out to the front because there's just too many rocks in the one area. Tomorrow, the fence company will be on site. That back area gets fenced off so that we can protect our students away from a grab and go, or so someone can't come back there and go onto our playground. So the fencing goes up. Now with that project, if you recall, we're moving the Gaga pit, I think that's what they call it, right, to the front, and then we're putting in a new playscape and some swings, and then that gets the sin lawn. So as soon as the crew gets done with Bedford, then they come over to Pardee to start that work. There's a pretty good chance that they will not get to that for the start of school, so we'll work with the building about maybe doing a Friday, Saturday, maybe having the kids go out on the football field or do something different on that day so that we can push that project ahead. So that's where we're at with that. The secret garden, so we've been a little delayed. We had a infestation of bees, of all things. So the trees are out of there, the stones are out of there. The leveling has started. The plan is to, once we get it all leveled, to bring in the landscape fabric to keep the weeds down and put stone on top of that and then put picnic tables in there. But we had to wait for the exterminator to come in because there's a huge bee's nest in ground right underneath where all those rocks were. So literally they were buzzing there when I was there today. So we're hoping that we'll get that leveled and get that ready to go. So as you guys recall, basically that area we couldn't use it, right? So, but when it's done, I think it will be a very nice outdoor place for the students at Pardee.
Can I ask a question about that?
You bet.
The bricks, the dedication bricks that were in there, what happened to those?
They covered them all up when they were taking all the large stones out, and they're still intact, just like they were. They put like 4x8 sheets of plywood down.
Oh, but they'll be open again once that works.
Yep. Yeah,
Oh,
they
okay.
stay.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Oh.
I should have
I
been
was
clear.
like,
Where the rocks were,
look at my face when you were saying that. I was like,
we're covering the whole thing. It's where, I should have been clear.
okay.
Where we took out the rocks and we've leveled, because that was all burned up with the
Yeah.
big trees and all
Yes,
that.
okay.
So where that's all coming out. So it'll be those bricks and then it will be land
Okay.
covered with stone. Yeah.
Thank you for the clarification.
No, I'm glad you
Sorry
said
to
that.
interrupt you.
No, you're good. You're good. So we're rolling with that. The high school cafeteria, when you walk in there right now, you need sunglasses. Literally, it's that bright. So excited about that. However, the tables, which I wanted here for our professional development next 2 weeks, may not be here. And the delay on those has to do with so they think they can have the square tables ready for the start of school, but they're not sure about the logo tables. So they're having some issues getting the logo tables done and getting them here. I told them I will take whatever you have. So we're crossing our fingers on that. Technology-wise, as you guys know, you approved the refresh of all of the district's computers and screens, so that process is ongoing, and this is to finish up the Windows 11 migration so that, we're all on Windows 10, and after October, none of that stuff is safe, so we're working through that. The computers came on Monday, so they're really working to deploy. The screens are here in the buildings, but the computers that go on the back are not. So the tech department's really working hard to get that ready to go. Then I want to talk about the other project you guys approved. It seems like things just don't always happen the way they should. So the project at Pardee for the sewer line backup, interesting story. So I assumed we had a sewer line issue at Bedford, right? They went out front of the building, they dug down and they fixed it and took care of it. You're laughing. So, so the Pardee was, the issue was right underneath the library, literally underneath the library. So they had to jackhammer, we had to move everything out, jackhammer a big square, 10 by 10, go down deep. I mean, this hole is deep. I got pictures. This hole is deep. And then once they got down there, they had to tunnel underneath the building. They had to go back in to find where the issue was. They find it, and they start cutting pipe to get it taken care of. So they're thinking it's a broken pipe and whatever. So they get in there, and inside the line is a chain that you use to pull a car out. Yes, exactly. So you know what I mean? A thick chain that you would hook with the big hooks was down in there. And so they cut a little pipe, tried to get it out, couldn't, dug farther, cut a little more pipe, tried to get it out, couldn't, dug farther. They had a tunnel underneath. They had to go like an extra, don't quote me exactly, but the guy said we went 5-6 feet deeper than what we thought. They finally got to this chain. They pulled it out as probably a 6-foot piece of chain with stuff all corroded to it, and that was the issue. So they got it out. No idea how it got there, probably when they were doing.
Leave something in you?
Well, when they constructed the building, if someone dropped something down there and somebody missed it, but that was the issue. So that's fixed. They filled it in. They've cemented the floor. The area's all cleaned up. I mean, they were literally driving equipment into that area. It was quite a project. So we're waiting. The next step to get that up to speed is to put the carpet back down, but we've got to wait for the cement to cure, and then put the desk where for check-in, check-out, put that back in place, and that area will be ready. So
Ms. Dyrock has a question.
go ahead.
I'm assuming the bill will be larger
Yes,
than what we approved.
yes, yep. We don't know yet, though, exactly. So
Surprise.
we had to get it fixed, though. Yeah, kind of crazy. So that's kind of the construction update. We're crossing our fingers. We're hoping for good luck. I'm pretty confident that that Al's Construction will have what we need to open school with parking lots and that kind of stuff. I'm a little more concerned about all of the playground equipment being ready to go. So we'll hope that they've said it will be, so that's what we'll do.
Well, they have 3 half-days to work in those afternoons.
Tell them that. Don't say that out loud. We're sitting on that as a backup.
Well, I'm just saying, if they don't get it done, they better be working on those days.
You need to start putting penalties in the contracts.
Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
I said.
Don't make the date.
Yeah.
Like the road construction, if you
Yep.
finish the road construction early, you get a bonus. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, those performance contracts, that's what they were called back in the day. You could do those, and they don't seem to do those now, and I think it has a lot to do with, and I think really what threw this project behind was I know it was because we couldn't get the underground water system, and it was because of the production of those pipes are huge. And so the way that works is, and even the bioswale, if you go by there, that deep area right in front, that bioswale, so the water comes down into the bioswale, then it drains down and it works its way through those pipes, and the pipes have holes in them, and the idea is that when the water comes, it just doesn't, it slowly seeps back into the ground. And then there's also on the surface, there'll be grates that water can directly go down. So I was talking to a gentleman this morning at 6:30 because I haven't been able to sleep because I'm worried about this. So I went over there first thing this morning. And he's a guy that lives in that neighborhood. And when I was talking about the water issue and the work that the board has done in approving this, and that was a huge part of this project, I told him that, I don't think that area floods. I don't think it will eliminate that issue because that may have to do with the creek. But I told him we're going to do our part to make sure that we're not adding to the
Right.
problem. So, so that was pretty good. So, any other questions about construction? Yes.
Can I make a comment about the bees?
Yeah.
I didn't even realize about bees, but our ordinance guy is actually a beekeeper. So when there are bee issues, if we need, we can reach out to him, and he does a lot of it for free.
Oh, okay.
So if we ever have a bee issue.
Yeah.
he's-
Okay.
he's
Thank
all
you.
about
I'll need.
bees.
He's our ordinance guy. Do you
He's
have?
the city
The
ordinance.
city
Oh,
ordinance,
okay.
Kevin
Kevin
Blackburn
Abbott.
is his name,
Okay.
and he owns honeybees.
Kevin
Oh.
Abbott.
Okay.
Kenny Abbott,
Yeah.
Ken
Just
Abbott.
killing them,
Abbott.
Yeah.
an
Yeah.
exterminator,
and-
just spraying them.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
gonna say
Makes sense.
about that.
Yeah.
Too.
Yeah, he
Please
lives
don't
in the
kill bees.
district.
Yeah, don't kill the bees.
Yeah, he lives in the district, so.
Okay.
yeah.
Cool. That's good to know. And
Abbott, I said Blackburn.
again,
Abbott.
probably for years that beehive's been in there, but
Yeah.
that's been so overgrown that no one ever. Plus, we just disturb the ground. So, okay. So moving on, the next item that I want to talk about is start of school. So everybody's gearing up and excited with the start of school. We have already started from the administrative standpoint. We did our retreat. We separated our retreat this year. We did, instead of 3 straight days, we narrowed it down to 2, and we put a day in between so that when the administrators get back, they're not inundated, because this time of year, everyone wants to talk to them, right? So, but we did our first day of our retreat. We spent a lot of time. Mr. Armstrong did a PowerPoint on equity. I passed out our equity policy and the work that this group's done on that. And then, as you guys may know or may not know, but this is part of Mr. Armstrong's thesis. So he prepared a PowerPoint, kind of went over what equity is, what it's about, what schools can do, and what we can do to push those initiatives forward. So we spent a lot of time on that. And we also spent a lot of time on, we're having a Title I on-site review this year. So we had our consultant from MDE Zoom into our meeting. We probably spent a good hour plus on talking about what they're really going to be focusing on, which is the teaching and learning strand of our title. And the other piece that I thought was very interesting is that she made it clear that anything that we spend title money on, we have to make sure that we assess its effectiveness. And so we spent a lot of time on that. And some of the things are difficult. I mean, think about, we spent a lot of money on Chromebooks, right? So how do you, it could be difficult to assess the effectiveness of buying 300 Chromebooks for students. And so they did speak about that you can use perception data with that. It doesn't always have to be, 50 kids got Chromebooks and these 50 kids did A and now they're doing B. We could use perception data. So we spent a lot of time talking about that. So it was a good retreat. On tomorrow morning, we will start off the day, if you guys approve the Yonder, with Yonder folks coming in. And they're going to spend a couple hours with us on the rollout of the Yonder pouches. And then, so that'll take up most of the morning. And then in the afternoon, I always give time for updates from departments, from our maintenance, from technology of where we're at with everything. So pretty excited about that. And of course, the teachers come back for their full day. PD will do that in here. That morning, it fills up rather quickly. We start off the morning by doing the service pins. If you guys recall, we reinstituted that last year. And so we'll continue with that. So we have that on policy, or that on tap. We'll also talk about equity at that meeting as well, and roll that policy out. And then we'll spend obviously a good portion of time talking about Yonder, if you guys approve it, and getting the staff up to speed on the Yonder. And then in the afternoons, that's staff meetings, typically at the building levels. And then the next 3 days are half days. Probably one of the most anticipated PD that we'll be doing will be on that Wednesday, and that will be AI in the classroom. We did this a couple years, my first year. We brought people in. we're bringing those same people back, and they're doing an updated where we're at today with AI and some of the new tools. And what we're really going to try to focus on, and we'll carry this into the PLCs, is interventions. So how can we use AI to develop interventions to help our children? So that's going to be the theme of both the PD and then when they go into their PLCs. So pretty excited for that. And then again, I'm hoping that everything is good to go on the construction front. So we'll be off to a good start. So I just wanted to update everybody on what's been going on.
Thank you. Moving on, Mrs. Winless, do you have a report for us?
I don't have a formal report, but I brought all my notes, so
Well,
I could
would
just
you
go
like
off
to
my
give
notes.
us an update, please?
Yeah, I'll
Thank
do
you.
that. So I took 4 classes over the weekend. The first one was CBA 265, Practical Advocacy. And this class I took with Trustee Wall, and we were in the same group. And so we got to practice advocacy, and they did a simulation of if you were to go up to Lansing and speak before a hearing and do a commission. You laughing? You did it before?
No, I think
Oh,
this is
okay.
awesome.
I thought you did it before. I was like, yeah,
No.
it was pretty cool. We went through like the introduction of a bill, and we got to go, and Trustee Wall was the speaker for our group, and he got to speak, and then they questioned us, and we had to answer the question back, and we had like maybe 40 minutes to prep before we went in front of this panel of people who like grilled us on it. So it was pretty cool. That was that whole class. I'm trying to see if there was anything. Oh, they stressed the importance of inviting state legislators to our events and to our board meetings. I wasn't sure if that was something that we already do, so I let that question blank. I know we invite them to like Reading Month, but I'm not sure if what else we invite them to. But they were stressing the fact that legislators can be influenced for decision making by being able to visit our sites and being able to see some of the big things that we're doing in our community. This was all preparing us for the role play. So we did debates, and this was that entire class was just preparing us for the debate. I'm just making sure I didn't miss anything. No, that's what that class was about. It was a good class. I would take it again. Because there was other topics that I wish I could have got to debate, and I got
What was the topic you guys got?
I was just about to think of what the topic was that I got. I'm drawing a blank. I'll email it to y'all if I remember what it was. And I'll text Derek. I'm sure he knows. He has elephant memory. The other class I took was strategic planning and goal setting. I took a lot of notes in this class. They were stressing the importance of having AI in our strategic plan. If we're using it in the classroom, they felt like it should be in the strategic plan as a goal. And I don't think we have AI in ours. They stressed the importance of the strategic plan being a living document that can be reviewed annually and updated. And I know we don't annually update, at least I don't remember the last time we updated the strategic plan, but they said it should be updated annually. And that she pushed for more people to be involved so there's more ownership in the strategic planning process. They spoke a lot about like, for lack of a better word, staying in your lane. Like the board helps create the strategic plan, but the implementation process is all on management. And I was like, ooh, that's where I get in the weeds. I'm always trying to make sure we're actually doing this or doing that. So they were stressing the importance of knowing the governance cycle and knowing which parts are for us to do, which are the evaluation, the vision, and the alignment, and then which part is for the management to do, which is the implementation, the development, and the monitoring parts of the governance cycle. Oh, and one district shared that they use their strategic plan and their agenda. So each agenda item is outlined under their strategic plan so that they know that everything that they're doing is aligned with their strategic plan. I thought that was pretty cool. I was like, that's a little more extra work on Mary Beth. But I thought that was pretty cool. There was 1 or 2 districts that did that. They stressed the importance of taking a board self-assessment, which I know not this board, but I know a board previously did do a board assessment, and I think I did one at the first year that I was here, but we should be doing self-assessments annually and then going over the outcomes of our self-assessments at the meeting. So I took that down, and that was important. She said to make sure our strategic plans have no more than 5 goals in them, between 3 and 5. And then she said to make sure they are in line with our MyKIP goal, and she kept talking about MyKIP. So I was like, I got to get with Mark because I don't know much about MyKIP, but she said making sure that they were in line with MyKIP.
So we spent some time talking about that, just if I don't mind interceding.
Yeah, go
So
ahead.
that's kind of, it's back in our day, it's the old school buildings, school improvement plans. It's just called MyKIP. So
Okay, now I heard school improvement plan. I should have said
They-
that. I
they
would have knew.
changed.
I
That's
would have
really
knew
what
what that
it
is
is.
with
They
the acronym.
changed.
I didn't know what the acronym was.
That's all.
Okay, strategic planning, they did a lot of discussion about, whether it should be done by a subcommittee or like an ad hoc committee of the board, and she was very adamant that the strategic plan should be everybody on the board, and we should not have meetings if like somebody can't make it. We should try to make it where everybody can be there to be a part of the strategic plan. And she went back to the fact that if they're not there, there's likely they're not gonna have any ownership into it and wanna push it forward. Then she stressed the importance of the 4 things that the board adopts, which are the beliefs, the mission, the vision, and the district goals. She talked about info sessions, which I thought was interesting. We didn't do this with the last strategic plan that we did, but there are, if you do it through MASB, which they said they are available to come and help with strategic planning and goal setting, they do information sessions with each group, so with the teachers, with the students, and they also do an online survey. And then you take all of that data, and then there's about 35 people that actually go into making a strategic plan. She said that was easier than having it open to the whole community because they didn't get a lot of feedback that way. So I thought that was interesting too, because it was like listening sessions before and then taking all of that data to the strategic planning team. Y'all can tell I'm excited about strategic planning. I can't wait till we get back to this. Then we did a wave and we talked about things that were on the horizon, things that were established, things that were emerging, and things that were disappearing. So a lot of people said that the funding was disappearing, which I thought was funny. It's not funny, but it was funny. And then they said that handwriting was disappearing, like cursive and handwriting, and the music and art programs they felt like were disappearing. I told them I didn't feel like that was the case in our district, but it seemed to be popular amongst everybody in the room that the music and the arts were disappearing. Things that were emerging was AI, DEI, trauma-informed care, cybersecurity, and life skills. They're saying that a lot of schools are going back to teaching life skills in the classroom because they're noticing that the students, when they come to college or when they go into the workforce, they're not ready with basic life skills. She said the strategic plan should be broken down into a quarterly action plan, which I thought was pretty cool. And then they gave a template for it. So I will email these to you so you can see. But there's a template for how to do a quarterly action plan, and it breaks down who's responsible for which part, when they're responsible for it, and where. So it's pretty cool. I think that was, oh, the last thing is the strategic planning website. So they said on your website, you should have a page dedicated to the strategic plan that has updates on where we are in the process of our strategic plan, the things we have finished and the things that we're still working on. And that was it for strategic planning and goal setting.
Yes, Superintendent Hyman.
So quick question. So the person that did the presentation, do they assist or do they have someone at MASB that will assist?
She was the person.
She
who
was the
this.
person,
Yeah.
okay, yeah. So I started the process because I know that's, we've got to revisit ours. And I got information on a gentleman from Centrix. And so I met with him over the summer and I asked that question, if they facilitate the MASB. and it was or the strategic plan process like MASB. And he indicated that they're the data hub
Oh, wow.
for the strat plan. So I thought I had it. This guy was really good. I liked him. And then once we got talking about his product, that's what they do. So I think we can make use of that because, I mean, they collect a ton of data and they help you break it down, but I'll need that contact person. And because of course, that's one of the things that we have to do. We have to revisit our strategic plan and we have to get it up.
Her name was Debbie. Her first name was Debbie.
Debbie
Debbie Stair.
Steyer.
Yeah. Or
Wood
Stair.
Council?
STAI.
Yes. Stairs.
Stair. Yeah. So that's who,
Excellent.
and she said she had a whole lot of experience.
Mhm.
So she's
Been
been
there
there
a long time.
forever. And she said she wrote their strategic plan like back in the day.
I met her in Atlanta.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yep. The next class I took was CBA 363, leveraging feedback. One of the bigger things I took out of this class was she talked about having a business card on you with, and on the back of it, having the hierarchy of who to talk to for different issues. So that if we're approached in the grocery store, or I know this doesn't happen to anybody, or at the football game or anywhere, we can have something tangible that we can hand to somebody and say, here's the person you're supposed to contact for this thing, for this thing. I know we developed a hierarchy and we had that already in place, but putting it on the back of a business card, I thought was pretty unique and helpful for those situations. She said that we should adopt, when we're getting feedback from the community, we should adopt the golden retriever rule. And that is to act like a golden retriever and be happy and just listen regardless of what the tone is. So I thought that was cute. And she said the art of listening is summarized in the acronym SET, S-E-T, and that stands for support, empathize, and then truth. So she said, support them, empathize with them, then hit them with the truth. But she said she didn't think that not responding was a good way to get the public's trust, to keep the public's trust. But so she said, support, empathize, then hit them with the truth. She recommended that we have town halls, and when we do town halls, to bring in experts and not have us be the people that they're talking to or make it like a listening tour with the board, but have experts talking about expert topics. They also do surveys at MASBs, and she was letting us know that they do all type of surveys if we're looking for surveys. And I know once upon a time, the Citizens Advisory Committee was looking at doing a survey, and she said that they have the data to do the surveys at mass and to help us break down the information too. That was it for that class. That was not my favorite class, if y'all can't tell. And the last class I took was CBA 264, Shaping Public Opinion. And this was about a 5-step opinion process. So learning who and what influences opinion, identifying what builds trust and support, learning about how districts' brand influences public opinion, exploring the limits of polls and tools and decision making, and analyzing what boards can do. So this class, there was a couple of districts that had therapy dogs in their district, and they were talking about that they have trading cards, like, like the baseball cards with their dogs' information on it and all the things they like and all the things they do around the district, and they give that to the kids and to the families to pass out about the dogs. So I thought that was pretty cool. And I was like, I'd like to see Ruby on the card.
Ruby would need one.
Ruby would be a star.
We got Ruby on a blanket. We got
We got
Ruby
Ruby
on
on
a
the
cup.
blanket. We go put Ruby on the card. They said that every district should have a communications person, I was like, where's the money for that? But they were like, every district should have a communications person, and the person should be pitching positive stories to the media regularly. And then making things as easy as possible for the media, doing things between 10:30 and 1 p.m. And knowing that Friday is a bad staff for media because they're short staff on Fridays. And then they said within the press that we're trying to use to grab the attention of the media, we need to make sure that our story is catchy within the first 10 seconds, because all the people that he knew that were in media, they make their decision on whether they're going to take the story within the first 10 seconds of your email. They don't read the whole email. So he said to make sure that you have a catchy title and that you get your point across within the first 10 seconds of you reading it, which I didn't know. So I thought that was cool to know. Then we talked about our district brands. We spent about an hour on this, just talking about what things are built and maintained and what things we have lost. One thing we talked about was our public comment. I'm pretty proud of our public comment. You know, I think it's very generous, and especially compared to other districts. And so that's one thing I shared and we talked about. And then one thing we lost was like our last superintendent. So I talked about that because it was kind of brought up, but we talked about that for a little bit. But we got you now, Mark.
We're keeping you.
We're
Only
keeping
if
you.
Bedford gets done. Because then we're gonna have to use that policy. It might be.
And then the formula for shaping public opinion is in the acronym TRUST, and the T stands for truth and transparency. The R, I don't know, it doesn't have an R, but it's for there it is, stakeholder relationships, so relationships. U is for understanding through involvement, S is for shared vision through dialogue, and T is for two-way communication continuously. And that was it for that class. Yeah, that was it for that class. So I had a good time.
Thank you, Secretary Winless. Does anybody have any questions or comments about that? Great job. Thank you. Good presentation. Okay, moving on to superintendent's recommendations. Letter A, certified staff appointments, Exhibit 1 in your packet. Be it so resolved that the Board of Education accepts the following certified staff appointments. Stephanie Clay, 5th grade teacher at Bedford, effective date September 2nd, 2025. Chelsea Hunter Flores, part-time speech language pathologist at the secondary schools, effective date September 2nd, 2025. Jennifer Lentz, band teacher at OW Bests, effective date September 2nd, 2025. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Moved by trustee Sterlini.
Support.
Supported by trustee Winless. Questions or comments? Welcome to District 7, ladies. Roll call, please.
Trustee Dyroff.
Yes.
Trustee Sterlini.
Yes.
Trustee Winless, yes. Trustee Anderson.
Yes.
Trustee Batowski.
Yes, motion carries. Now I can say welcome to the district, ladies. Sorry, jumped the gun on that one. I got excited. B, non-certified staff appointments, Exhibit 2 in your packet. Be it so resolved that the Board of Education accepts the following non-certified staff appointments. Stephen A. Fletcher, assistant football coach. Isn't he the head coach?
That might be a mistake. Just put football coach. How will that be?
Okay, football coach, Annapolis High School, fall 25-26 season. Kobe Wilson, football coach, Annapolis High School, fall 25-26 season. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Moved by trustee Sterlini.
Support.
Supported by trustee Winless. Roll call, please.
Trustee Sterlini.
Yes.
Trustee Winless, yes. Trustee Anderson.
Yes.
Trustee Dyroff.
Yes.
Trustee Batowski.
Yes, motion carries. Welcome to the district, gentlemen. Certified staff resignation, Exhibit 3 in your packet. Be it so resolved that the Board of Education accepts the following certified staff resignation. This one's sad. Shelley Nichols, Madison virtual teacher, due to retirement, effective date August 31st, 2025. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Moved by trustee Sterlini,
Support.
supported by trustee Anderson. Questions or comments? Ms.
Oh.
Go ahead.
Okay, so we certainly want to thank Shelley for her years of service here at D7. She's touched a lot of lives and a lot of students over the years, so she's going to be missed. So,
Sorry.
I would just like to echo that, you know, she's just been a bright light on so many levels in the district, and she will be missed.
Yes, she will.
But happy retirement.
Yep.
Roll call, please.
Trustee Winless, yes. Trustee Anderson?
Yes.
Trustee Dara?
Yes.
Trustee Sterlini?
Yes.
Trustee Batowski?
Yes, motion carries. Enjoy your retirement. Letter D, non-certified staff resignation, Exhibit 4 in your packet. Be it so resolved that the Board of Education accepts the following non-certified staff resignation. Dua Khalili, Special Ed Paraprofessional, Polk Elementary School, effective date August 7th, 2025. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Moved by trustee Sterlini,
Support.
supported by trustee Winless. Questions or comments? Roll call, please.
Trustee Winless, yes. Trustee Anderson?
Yes.
Trustee Dara?
Yes.
Trustee Sterlini?
Yes.
Trustee Batowski?
Yes, motion carries. Letter E, O.W. Best Assistant Principal Contract, Exhibit 5 in your packet. Be it so resolved that the Board of Education appoints and approves the contract of Montgomery Shamblow, Assistant Principal at O.W. Best School, pending HR approval in accordance with the terms and conditions of the contract presented. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Moved by trustee Winless,
Support.
supported by trustee Sterlini. Questions or comments?
I have a question.
Mr.
go
ahead.
Question first.
Okay.
Secretary Winless?
In the contract, the compensation says it's commencing August the 7th, but on page 2, it says the start date is August the 1st. So I just wanted to know
Yeah.
the difference between the two dates. Which date is
Yeah, it's August 7th.
August 7th? Okay.
Yeah, yep.
Thank you.
Good
That's
catch.
it for
We'll
me.
get that fixed. Yep. Okay.
Okay,
Great.
Mr. Finance?
So, pretty excited to bring this to you guys. So, Montgomery, or Monty, as Monty, as he likes to be known, we certainly are excited to bring Monty aboard. He has a Bachelor's of Science degree from Western Michigan University, and of course, all of us Chippewas, like, almost threw him right out of the committee. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just teasing. He has his Master's of Arts from Eastern. That's okay. Eastern's, yeah, very good. Professional teaching certificate in social sciences. This is interesting because you don't come across this very often, but his admin cert is K-12, so he could be an administrator anywhere. So good for him. He has experience as a teacher, administrator at Northville Public Schools, taught also at River Rouge. He was by far the #1 candidate coming out of the committee, and we had a committee of teachers and administrators. It was really a good group. He has experience, and this is what really makes Monty stand out. He has experience in positive behavior support, PBIS programs, multi-tiered systems of support, MTSS, and social emotional learning programs, SEL. And I believe the multi-tiered and the PBIS actually spearheaded implementation of those programs in his previous district. But when you get to know Monty, you'll find out he's a very personable individual, very positive problem solver. I truly believe that he'll make a great addition to D7, to OW Best, and have a very positive impact on our school district. So I asked Monty if you would introduce your wife and speak a little bit about your background. That'd be great.
First of all, I want to thank the board, thank Superintendent Kleinens for this great opportunity. I'm excited. You know, I'm starting my, I think, 29th year in education. And I'm as excited and energized as I ever have been to come work here at D7. You know, as I mentioned through the interview, I grew up really close to here in Dearborn, just down the street on Monroe Street. I grew up there. My cousins went through D7. They lived in the district, graduated from Annapolis High School. So I'm very familiar with this area growing up here. I still live in Dearborn. I rode my bike to work on Monday, So that's how close I am. So I'm really excited for this opportunity. And I'd like to introduce my wife, my lovely wife, Krista. She is an early childhood consultant with Oakland Schools. So we're both educators. We have 3 beautiful boys. Our oldest, Brandon, Krista just moved into Wayne State today. So he's a freshman at Wayne State. So this was a busy week for us. And we have a 9th grader and a 7th grader who attend University of Detroit Jesuit. They had their first day this week too. So we're really excited to be here. And, you know, a few things about, you know, what I believe in as an educator through my years. I believe wholeheartedly on 3 things. The students need 3 things. The first, they need to feel safe physically and emotionally. They need to feel supported. What I mean by that is, you know, each student needs to believe that, you know, there's an adult in the building or a teacher or someone that truly cares about them, right? So they have someone that cares about them. And lastly, students need to believe that they can be successful, right? So I think that's our job as teachers and administrators to make students feel, you know, safe, supported, and secure, and successful every day. So that's what I come to work to try to do every day. Thank you.
Excellent, thank you.
And welcome, yes.
Okay, we need to take a
Oh,
roll
wait,
call.
they
before we
better
welcome.
vote first,
Yes.
yeah.
Roll call, please.
Trustee Winless, yes. Trustee Anderson.
Yes.
Trustee Dyroff. Trustee Sterlini.
Yes.
And Trustee Beltowski.
Yes, motion carries. Welcome to District 7. We're lucky to have you. Moving on to the letter F, second reading of proposed, new, revised, and reissued board policies.
Can I,
Excuse me.
I know you guys have little ones that you need to take care of, so please don't, if you have to go, we understand, right? Yep, yep.
Okay, let's try that again. Letter F, second reading of proposed new, revised, and reissued board policies, Exhibit 6 in your packet. Be it so resolved that the Board of Education approves the second reading and adoption of proposed new, revised, and reissued Neola board policies as presented. Bylaw 0152, officers. Bylaw 0154, motions. Bylaw 0164.4, hearing procedures. Bylaw 0166, agenda. Bylaw 0167.3, public comment at board meetings. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Moved by trustee Sterlini,
Support.
supported by trustee Winless. Questions or comments? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Trustee Anderson.
Yes.
Trustee Dyroff.
Yes.
Trustee Sterlini.
Yes.
Trustee Winless, yes. Trustee Beltowski.
Yes, motion carries. Letter G, first reading of proposed revised and reissued board policies, Exhibit 7. Be it so resolved that the Board of Education approves the first reading of proposed new, revised, and reissued Neola board policies as presented. Bylaw 0171.1, President. Bylaw 0175.1, School Board Conferences, Conventions, and Workshops. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Moved by trustee Sterlini, supported by trustee Anderson. Yes? No?
Dyroff.
Dyroff. I told you my left ear is not good.
Didn't I do that to you guys last time? I did it to them when you were gone. I was doing that.
Okay, questions or comments? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Trustee Dyroff. Trustee Sterlini.
Yes.
Trustee Winless, yes. Trustee Anderson. Trustee Beltowski.
Yes, motion carries. Letter H, Yonder Education Package, Exhibit 8 in your packet. Be it so resolved that the Board of Education approves the purchase of Yonder Education Package. This program will allow the district to implement policy number 5136, personal communication devices, through the purchase of Yonder pouches and unlocking devices. The total cost is $55,500, and the monies will be derived from Title IV grant funds. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Moved by trustee Dyroff, supported by trustee Sterlini. Yes, Mr. Kleinhand.
So the Yonder Education Package includes, and what we're looking to purchase is 2,000 total standard pouches. That's the locking pouches, and the way they lock is the kids come into the building every day, and their ticket to get in is they put their cell phone, earbuds, any other smartwatches in here, and they lock it, and they do this. They walk through the door, okay? So that would be for our middle schoolers and high schoolers who have this on them. They take it to and from school, okay? So at the end of the day, we roll out the unlocking bases. They touch this. They can either do that or put it on there and just push the button and it unlocks. They get their cell phone. Now, if by chance they forget that and they get in the car with mom and dad, then what do? They turn around and we are purchasing, you'll see the lock boxes. There are 8 of them. They'll be located throughout the district. And so they'll be opened up so that if a student forgets, although there are some parents that probably will just tell the kid to keep it locked up, but there are some that will turn around, come back, and they can unlock their pouches outside on the lock box with the Yonder magnetic unlocker. So 2,000 standard pouches, and then we're getting 28 of the ADA, and these are for medical and students that absolutely have to have access to their phone. So they put it in here if they're using it to check their sugar levels or things of that nature, then that's what these pouches are. The round table mounting bases, there are 20 of those, and you can do this different ways. I think what we're going to do, we'll talk about this tomorrow, is put them on carts so that we can roll them in the office when school's going on, and then at the end of the day, roll them out and kids can unlock and take care of that. So it also includes, I talked about, we get some extra handheld bases that come with the package, the lock boxes, and then the pouch racks. Those are in our they'll be used in our elementary for 4th and 5th grade primarily. However, if we have an elementary student that wants to carry a phone, they'll be assigned a pouch, but they do not take their pouch to and from. They put it right in the pouch. They pick up their pouch, put their phone in it, they can keep that on them, and then at the end of the day, they take their phone out, unlock it, and put the pouch back, so it doesn't get lost in the shuffle with little ones. So research is very clear, and I included all of that information in here, and I sent a lot of this information home to parents as well. It has a positive, the school districts that implemented Yonder, and really I think that this is huge, seen an increase in grades, upwards of 33% in some schools, a decrease in behavior incidents of 44%, and another key component in this district and this board is truly committed to the mental health of the students, and the data shows that that the school culture is more positive and more conducive. And the other piece is the teachers are not the cell phone police 24/7. So a lot of positives with this. As I had indicated earlier, we got the Yonder people coming out to go over the plan. There are many schools that are right where we're at that have gone through this process. Once it becomes natural, it's just like a part of school. It just becomes inundated. It's part of what you do. Their theme is focus, connect, and thrive without distractions. And so what we'll do is we have safety meetings at the start. We did this last year at the start of the school year in all of the buildings, and we talked to kids about the smart boot, talk to them about if you see something, you can pull boot. We'll go through that whole process, and we'll add the Yonder bags to that, and then we'll set up a distribution plan and get the program started. Questions?
Trustee Dyroff.
So not about the Yonder bags, but it has to do with all of this, because the policy was a little bit broader. It included the headphones and the earbuds and the iPads and that sort of thing. So what? Can you hear me?
Better.
So what is the process for the student that comes in with those types of things?
Yeah, so we will we'll be discussing that tomorrow to talk about exceptions and how other schools have handled those primarily.
Okay.
So the other piece of that, though, that not even thinking about this, but there are some students that have to have headphones as a result of their IEPC or their 504. So we're making arrangements to purchase those. So there'll be district headphones that we can issue for those particular students. So the big headphones have become an issue at the high school. And talking to Mr. Millet, that's going to be dealt with the first week. 'Cause
I
those
was
will
just
not be-
curious if they come
Yeah.
in with that, how
Yeah.
you're going to be taking those
Yes,
from
yeah,
them.
we'll,
and
they'll
The
be,
iPads, because that,
Yep.
the policy was pretty broad and we named everything under the sun.
yes, we
so,
did, yep.
Mhm.
Yeah, so we'll be talking about that with the folks tomorrow.
Okay.
So we've kind of adjusted, as you guys know. Originally, I was looking at buying these for every classroom.
Mhm.
And the Yonder folks said that they would steer away from that, and they have another method of how we can have students access it without using these. Not that they wouldn't want to sell us these,
Sure.
but they say typically schools do not purchase all those for all of the classrooms. They have other ways of unlocking in case there's a serious incident of having students have access to their phone, because I'm committed to that part. Students need to have access. Knock on wood, hopefully this will never happen, but if we did have a serious issue, some classrooms, students and teachers could be in classrooms for a lengthy amount of time, and we need to have students be able to reach out, once the incident is resolved and they're just waiting to be released. So that's a big part of, I think, what we need to do to make sure that students will have access and can make phone calls in those critical incident situations. So, but we'll be discussing the headphones and all of those pieces tomorrow when the Yonder folks
Great.
come. So,
Thank you.
I have a question. I know that
Okay.
Go ahead.
you were saying that if they left their bag, if they didn't unlock their bag, they can go back and unlock it. Are you going to have to keep people from destroying those boxes? Are you going to have them? No,
these?
those, yes. To
I
keep
mean,
them from destroying it, are you gonna? You said it was going to be in a lockbox. Are they going to have a combination or something? Or
so what schools typically do is they have one of these on the outside of the building. They keep it locked during the day, right? So this is mainly for after school, it's unlocked. So it's accessed all through the evening in case students forget and they come back a little bit later. Or let's say they have an athletic event that they're attending, then they can unlock their Yonder pouch at that time.
We have security cameras.
And we do have
Okay.
cameras all over the place.
Okay.
The
yeah.
kid that
All
comes
right.
with the
Everywhere.
hammer
I
and
was
smashes it
I
in.
was just, I
Uh-huh.
was
That
just-
could happen
Yeah,
though.
it could.
There's,
That's
yeah.
what I was curious.
I
about.
thought you were talking about, because this issue came up as well. Apparently you can go onto Amazon or onto,
You could say it.
I know, but you can. We might as well
They
put it out
they
there.
already know.
Yep.
Yes,
Yeah,
they
they know.
do.
You can
They already
purchase
know.
these.
Okay.
However, what the Yonder folks have found is those ones that you can purchase, because they're not focused, will damage these.
Oh,
And they said, once the word gets out that one or two kids bought these things and they damaged their whole phone, then they're gonna find out very quickly that maybe we better not go on Amazon and buy a unlocking device.
Right.
So
Okay.
They
Okay.
even come on lanyards so kids can carry them around, and it's all
Vice
fine and
President?
dandy till you ruin a phone.
Vice President Sterlini had a question?
So,
Comment?
yep, so the ones that are being left outside, are they bolted to the
Yes.
wall? Okay,
Yep.
so nobody can walk away and steal it?
Yeah,
Okay.
they're lockboxes.
The other thing, we keep talking about the students and all that, but we got to make to reiterate, there is a policy also for the teachers in that they shouldn't be on their phones during school hours, because we've seen that. And this is for them as well, not the Yonder bags, but that they need to be policing each other, that they need to be staying off their phones too, because they're there to be educating, not to be on their phones. So just wanted to put that out there, that if we need to change policy or do something for that, if there's an issue, then we'll see about that going. But I want it reiterated so that, the students know, the parents know, and the teachers know that they should be educating too.
And I think the statement we use is professionalism.
Yes.
yes.
Right.
Yep.
Okay.
Good point.
I would like to just ask, or maybe point out a few things here at this table, so it will be said that we've covered this, because some scuttle that's been out there, as Mrs. Morgan likes to say. The questions come up all the time of, oh, well, my kid needs their cell phone in case of a school shooting or an emergency. And I really like the way Yonder presented this, that cell phones cause harm during emergencies. They can distract students from listening to first responders. High call volumes can disrupt emergency coordination. Phone use might reveal a student's whereabouts. If you're someplace and your phone rings accidentally, and assailants could use social media to find additional victims. We know as of late, Instagram has made it so that you can check your location unless you turn your map off on Instagram. So if somebody is trying to find a victim in the school, they can easily find them if they have their phone on. So this is actually going to protect your students in case of an emergency. Like Mark said, if there was an emergency, we have a state-of-the-art security system in our schools that protect our students. And in that case, if they were stuck in a classroom, safely secured in a classroom, they would be able to have access to their phones at that point in time. We need to know that instant communication isn't always safer, that when parents are more supportive of this policy, you understand the critical distinction, your students will. There are a number of ways to unlock the Yonder pouches in emergencies. We've went over that. And we want to encourage our parents to speak to children about what to do during an emergency and explain how they will be able to call or text as soon as they are in a safe location or it is secure. Again, we spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on a state-of-the-art security system in our buildings. Our students are some of the safest students in the area. These Yonder bags are only going to help with their social emotional skills, their communication skills. They're going to have to actually talk to their friends, talk to people. I had a student ask me, well, how am I supposed to, talk to my friends? I said, you know what we used to do? We wrote notes on pieces of paper and stuck them in their lockers or passed them in the hallway. Hey, can you give this note to Mandy? I know it's silly, but you're going to have to talk to people. And we're going to see a drastic drop in behavior issues. And we're going to see grades improve. And again, we're going to see mental health issues are going to diminish. At first, it's going to be tough. As I talked to a couple students who called me the other night, it's going to be tough, but let's not go in with a negative attitude. Let's try it. Let's see what happens. And like Superintendent Kleinhans said, it's going to be a part of your school every day. As far as translation, we have a fully staffed ELL staff. We have updated the Chromebooks. We've updated our technology, so students who rely on Google Translate will be able to do that with their Chromebooks. And so I think we've covered all of the bases here. And so I think that once parents look into the research, if we can get this information out to them somehow, I know you sent a letter out, but some of the wording was confusing to some of the parents. So if we can get these statistics out there and why we're choosing to do this, maybe we'll get, more parents on board. I know there are parents that are on board with this. That seems to be the feel that I've gotten from this. So I'm really excited and I'm proud that we are doing this if we approve this. Anybody else?
Everything she said.
Okay,
Thank
roll
you. That
call,
was,
please.
that was excellent. Thank you.
Trustee Sterlini?
Yes.
Trustee Winless, yes. Trustee Anderson?
Yes.
Trustee Dyra?
Yes.
Trustee Botowski?
Yes, motion carries. Thank you. Letter I, Citizens Advisory Committee Exhibit 9. Be it so resolved that the Board of Education hereby disbands the Citizens Advisory Committee effective immediately, having determined that its duties and responsibilities have been fulfilled. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Moved by Trustee Winless,
Support.
supported by Trustee Sterlini. Any questions or comments?
Yeah, so,
Superintendent Finance.
thank you. This group did a great task. The equity policy, the work that was done on that, a lot of research went into that. I think we looked all over the place to try to find equity policies. We got some samples. We spoke a lot about that and developed that policy, took it to policy committee, got board approval. And then the other project that really was quite a project, and I thank Leslie for having this committee take this on. It's quite a document. The D7 Community Resource Guide, it's on our website. It's a one-stop shop for anybody that needs help, that's struggling, all the way from food to medical to mental health. It's all in there. So I want to thank the folks on this committee, appreciate their work, and mission accomplished with this project.
Anybody else have any questions or comments?
What he said.
Roll call, please.
Trustee Winless, yes. Trustee Anderson.
Yes.
Trustee Dara.
Yes.
Trustee Sterlini.
Yes.
Trustee Batowski.
Yes, motion carries. Letter J, renewal of counselor app, exhibit number 10 in your packet. Be it so resolved that the Board of Education approves the renewal quote for the continuation of a year two of two, I believe this is a typo. The continuation of a 2-year contract with counselor. Is it supposed to say of a year two of a 2-year contract?
Of year
Year
two.
two. not
Thank
of a-
you. Of year two contract with counselor, which provides 24/7 access to mental health experts for students and staff via a mobile app. The total cost is $38,010. The funding source is section 31A. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Moved by trustee Sterlini,
Support.
supported by trustee Dyroff. Questions or comments? Kleinhand, Mr.
Yes.
Kleinhand.
So I just wanted to make sure when you look at the data, the report that you guys asked for, and I'm glad that we revisited this. So if you look at the new users, the sessions and the book sessions and the sessions, but if you go to the last piece, the session messages, so if you recall, a lot of this work is done via text. So those were a combination of all of the texts that have transpired between individuals using the app and the actual people that man the counselor folks. So I wanted to make sure that you guys understood, because I had a question about that, and I wanted to be clear about that.
And then we will revisit the contract because this is the second year of the 2-year contract. We'll revisit it at the end of next year.
Anybody else? Roll call, please.
Trustee Winless, no. Trustee Anderson.
Yes.
Trustee Dara.
Yes.
Trustee Sterlini.
No.
Trustee Batowski.
Yes. Motion carries.
No, it doesn't.
It fails. It's on 5.
Oh, I'm sorry. Motion fails. Thank you for correcting me on that. Moving on to unfinished business. Do we have any unfinished business to come before the board?
I do think that we need to make sure that that motion failed, that it's the majority of the board, or is it the majority of the board that's present? Anybody know Robert's rules right off the top of their
It's
head?
always been the majority of the board. that's
It's always been the
present.
majority of the board, which is 4. But I think there's something about when they're present. I just want to make sure.
I'm
If
pretty
that,
sure-
I wrote failed, but I do think maybe just double check so that we're all in.
I will double check, but I think that it has to be the majority of the board, that you have to have 4.
I feel the same way, but I also feel like somewhere along the line, there's been conversation about it before. So I just want to make sure.
Okay,
Okay, thank you.
not a problem. Any unfinished business?
One more question on that.
Yes.
Sorry.
Nope, that's fine.
What does that do for the contract? Do we have to still pay anything out with the
Yeah,
contract
so-
in terms of not
Yep, so I will,
finishing that year?
yep, I will be reaching out to the company and letting them know that, that we need to eliminate that contract and get out of it, and then we'll discuss what it takes to do that.
What that
So,
means? Okay, you'll bring that back to us?
Yeah, I can.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I would want to know.
Yes, I would like to know also. Okay, moving on to new business. I have some new business I would like to bring before the board. I had as I called it to trustee Dyroff, a brain fart last week. I had my calendar mixed up. I thought that there was supposed to be a forum tomorrow night, not next week. And that's why I felt the need to reach out to everybody and ask for a timely response to how did we feel about having a candidate forum at either our high school or here in the OW Best cafeteria. I honestly, truly believed that it was happening tomorrow night and not a week from tomorrow. Hence the reason why I made it sound like we needed to, make a decision. Trustee Dyroff called me out on it. I thank her for that because she and I were talking and she said that to me and I looked at my calendar and I said, whoa, I did not mean to send out a text for you to look at your email and answer me that quickly. I completely forgot we were having a board meeting, that we can discuss this at the table and not just through an email situation. So we are here. Obviously, we have two people who are not, I know what their thoughts were on that due to their emails. So I just want to have an open discussion here and get everybody's viewpoint on the South End
Civic Association.
South End Neighborhood Civic Association wants to host a forum, a candidate forum, for the two candidates who are running for mayor for the city of Dearborn Heights, and for all of those who are running for another one on another night for all of those who are running for city council. It would be in no way supported or sponsored by Dearborn Heights District 7. They would be only using our facilities. So with that being said, I would like to hear from everybody. We can start with Trustee Sterlini.
First of all, you probably jumped on it quick because I think it was the wording of my email, because I was in like rush mode because I said, should we email or whatever? So sorry. Yeah, I think
It's okay.
that's.
I know, seriously, it was a calendar mistake on my part.
So I'm trying to find another venue. So what we ran into last time, we had it and there was not enough space. We have it typically at the Westwood School Board office. And now I'm not one to like allowing like one candidate to come to the school district and do their thing. I think that shows favoritism and it can look like the school is
It's also in our
endorsing
policy that we don't allow for a private function, and I would consider that to be a private function. if
This.
It's just one.
Oh,
No,
yeah,
one
that- yeah,
candidate.
I gotcha. So this, I didn't think it was too bad, although I'm still back and forth because we are doing it for all candidates. It's not just going to be one, to your point, it's going to be everyone. My also concern is putting undue craziness and whatever on this school and Mark. We got school coming up, we got the Yonder Bag issue. So I really don't want to put any undue work on him and the school. The other piece of it, I thought, well, it might be kind of good, like we were gonna do August and then September. Originally, it was gonna be September, October. Like, if we did a mayoral thing and we had it in the auditorium or here, maybe some of the kids would come. And then they could see, government in action kind of sort of thing. And I think it's good for kids to be involved that way, to see and hear. But I am trying the rec center. I have to see if I can get permission for them to waive their fee at the rec center. If they'll do that, then if I talk to the rest of the crew, then it would be the rec center versus here at the Richard A. Young Center, for those who don't know, versus in the school district. But again, it's also going to be on the craziness caused to the school and Mark, and I'm not doing that. If I have to cancel the event, or we just have it in that little small venue, that's where it is, because I'm not going to put the school district through craziness. I just wanted it out there and asked if, like, the school is my last resort if I needed it. That's where I was going with it, so.
Okay. Trustee Winless? Your thoughts?
I'm in support of this. I've seen the forums held at Westwood, and has there been a conflict there? But I guess I'm just wondering why this is coming to the board. I guess I might be a little confused on why this is coming to the board, because normally if people just want to use the facility, they just do the request through the principal, and then it's approved at the principal level, and this doesn't come to the board. So I guess, why does it need to be publicly discussed and voted on, I guess?
So I did that. I asked for it because
Okay.
She
it was, part of my group coming in, and it has to do with politics. And I didn't want it, I wanted everyone to have a way in. I didn't want it to, again, I didn't want what happened with, again, it was one candidate, like with the Crestwood issue, it looked like they were endorsing the candidate. And I just wanted to make sure, you know, full transparency. I didn't want you guys getting hit with like, oh, Tanya's here, this, I didn't want that. So I wanted everyone to know, everyone to have a say in it, so that, you know, there wasn't any, just make sure everyone had a say. So that was me.
So you don't have a problem? Trustee Anderson?
I do not have a problem.
Okay. Trustee Dyroff?
Oh, I got a problem. First of all, I think it's important that we reiterate how we do our email. It's fine, so there's two issues I want to discuss. The email first. It is fine that we send an email to the board, to the full board. But when we cross that line and say, can you vote? Can you tell me a yes or a no to this? That is crossing the line. That is not a forum to vote on anything, anytime, anywhere. It would have to be a dire emergency in order for any of us to be able to vote during an email. That's what the board table is for, and I'm not sure everyone, you know, I just think that that was something that needs to be reiterated. I have a problem with having a forum for candidates on our school district. I mean, you can't even, as a candidate, cross a certain line to get into the voting precincts, you know, that are on the school property. I don't think you should be mixing city politics with school districts at all. And you know, and now it's not just the mayors, it's the council and all of that. I just feel like let them have their forums on city property. I just feel pretty strongly about that. And I understand that I'm a minority, and if that's how it is, that's how it is. But I am not at all in favor of having that. It has nothing to do with anything other than I don't think we should be holding city candidate election forums in our buildings.
Go. I was gonna give my 2 cents and then we can go back. I don't have a problem with it. I see on television all the time, politicians going into schools, visiting schools, reading, holding meetings in schools. I think it's a way to get the potential mayors of the city of Dearborn Heights to get District 7 on their radar. All too often, we are left out of all kinds of city functions where we could highlight our students, our artists, our bands, our sports teams, you know. We're
So we
kind
are
of,
doing it for a political reason.
no, we're not doing it for a political reason. We're doing it for exposure. We are doing it for exposure. Why should we not be proud of our district and have our city politicians also be proud of our district and want to include us in Christmas tree lighting and things like, you know, creek cleanups and everything else. Let's show them the D7 difference. This is welcome into our buildings. Look at how beautiful our building, look at our beautiful auditorium. Look at our beautiful auditorium that we redid. Yes, you can come here and you can use this auditorium. We are in no way endorsing you. We are in no way, you know, supporting any one candidate. We are welcoming you, bipartisan, nonpartisan, whatever you want to say. So I have no issues with it. And to Ms. Winless's point, you know, anybody could ask to use a building.
Yeah, they don't need our permission.
You know, we have all kinds of organizations that are using our facilities at no charge whatsoever. And, you know, I think that we're missing an opportunity in that, you know, maybe we should be charging people to use our facilities, you know? We have to turn the lights on, we have to pay the janitors, we have to pay the janitors to clean up, we have to pay for security for some of these events. I mean, we're paying,
Dance Club is going to love you. Just saying.
I'm just saying. I didn't, That would be something that we would have to agree on. I mean, I'm putting it out there, but you know, there's other districts around that they're charging money to use their facilities and things like that. So to allow a civic association of that's, you know, part of our district, part of the Westwood district also, to use our facility, you know, it's being neighborly, I think. That's my 2 cents. Wendy?
I just want people to remember, when we had the mayor before the last mayor, he hosted a forum in the gym because he wanted to raise taxes or something to that nature. And people were threatening that, you know, he wanted to do something, but it was a political event because he was running. And it was right in O.W. Best.
I think that was the rec center.
No, it was in the gym.
Oh, really?
It was in the gym, because I had just moved into the area, so it's like 20, like it was, whenever he was in office, and I don't know if you remember, but he was, if we didn't vote for this proposal, he was gonna have to lay off some police officers.
Yeah, I believe
And-
it was at the rec center gym area.
I remember it being in
Yeah.
O.W. Best, because I had never even been in O.W. Best, so, but it was in the bleachers. But I'm just saying, we use schools and educational buildings for other things, even political things, because, and I went to the forum and it was uncomfortable. It was small, and I feel like I learned a lot at that, you know, forum. And I feel like a lot of people don't, you know, we vote because of lack of knowledge, because we may not be able to get to different things. But this, if this is in our area, it would only benefit the citizens, I feel like.
I agree.
That's just my 2 cents.
Trustee Dyer?
I don't dispute one iota that it would benefit the citizens. But the political event that she's referring to, they were already politicians. It was already the mayor. I'm saying these are candidates that are running for a seat. And that is my problem. It's candidates that are running for a seat that you can say until you are blue in the face that we're not supporting anyone. But there are going to be people that are like, oh, they're doing it because of this candidate or that candidate or whatever. And I just feel like as a school district, it would be in our best interest to stay out of it and let the city, let the forum be on city property with the candidates that are running for city offices. And when they're politicians, God, I hope you're right. I hope that they're willing to come to our school district afterwards
Oh,
and
yeah.
see the beautiful places that we have here. But anyway, that's my 2 cents.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
I get what everyone's saying, trust me. I'm like beating myself up over this. Trust me.
Well, I don't want you to beat yourself up.
I appreciate you bringing it forward to have the discussion at the table.
Okay. Is there any other new business? No? All right. District points of pride, Mr. Kleinhans.
I've already talked a lot this evening,
Okay.
so I'll back off, but I really am excited about moving forward for the school year. And it's going to be a challenge with all of the changes, but I think we're going to be good to go. And I truly believe that although construction's been a headache and it's going to go right down to the wire, that when these projects are done, I just think Bedford's going to be a showcase. I think the backup party is going to be phenomenal with what we're doing back there. The air conditioning and Polk and Party and the new technology. It's going to be amazing, and bringing on new staff members and people that are highly, motivated to do what's right for kids and really help our students here. I'm just really excited, so.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Under other business, we have no, excuse me, I am misspoken. We have a policy committee update. Trustee Dyroff.
All righty, we met this evening prior to the board meeting, a couple things. Neola has updated the policies that we voted on for the second reading at the June 11th and June 23rd board meetings. So those have been updated in the board docs and on our website. MASB and Neola have parted ways, was the other information that we received tonight. We will still be using Neola. MASB is probably going to go with an attorney. So that remains to be seen, but as of right now, we still have Neola, and they will still be our partner in this. We will be getting a new rep. They apparently are drawing different lines of, territory. So we'll see how that all plays out in the future. We had one bylaw under the zeros that we still had to take a look at. We had the attorney give us some wording on it, and we will be adding that for, let me make sure I've got this right. It was under closed session, and we will be adding to that that a board member will be required to disclose any personal involvement or knowledge in a disciplinary matter. So we're going to be adding that statement to the closed session bylaw. And then we went into the 1000s of the policies now. And we have board superintendent relationship that we made a minor change to. That'll be on the September 3rd agenda. The evaluation of the superintendent, we made a minor change to that. That will be on the September 3rd agenda. Job descriptions need some further review from Mark, and so we'll be reviewing that again at our next meeting. And then school administrator evaluation, that needs a complete redo, so he's going to work with Neola on that. And then we went through a ton of bylaws and made no changes to them, and I'll do minutes and send those to Mary Beth to get to the board. Our next meeting will be September 17th at 5:30 here at OW Best. We had no public comment, and that's it.
Thank you for that update. And please note, I am back to work, so emails are going to come later in the day or evening. Thank you for understanding. Upcoming board committee meetings, there are none scheduled other than the policy committee meeting, which will be September 17th at 5:30 here at OW Best. Is there any other business? No? Okay. Public comment number 2. Do we have any comments from the public at this point in time? Seeing none, moving on to kudos. We have no kudos today. Before we adjourn, I'd like to take a moment of silence for a former student of D7. Mr. Devin Chenevere passed away last Monday. His funeral will be this Thursday at Varan Funeral Home in Taylor on Goddard Road. So if we could please take a moment of silence. Thank you. At this time, I'd like to adjourn this meeting at 8:27. Be it so resolved that the Board of Education adjourns the meeting at 8:27 PM. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Moved by
Support.
trustee Anderson, supported by trustee Winless. Roll call, please.
Trustee Willis, yes. Trustee Anderson?
Yes.
Trustee Dyroff?
Yes.
Trustee Sterlini?
Yes.
Trustee Beltowski?
Yes, motion carries. Thank you, everyone. Have a great night.
You too.
I need to ask you something. You said where your boys went to school.